Are you facing challenges in your health? Then Dr. Suleiman Clinic and Labs is here to provide you with the lasting solutions to your health problems. Dr. Suleiman Clinic and Labs is specialized and offers consulting in psychiatry, internal medicine, cardiology, urology, dermatology, gynecology, infectious diseases, and infertility. At Dr. Suleiman Clinic and Labs, we offer 3D/4D scan at just 5,000 francs, emergency ambulance, free ultrasound scan, and free medical consultations. Our staff is composed of well-trained doctors with good laboratory and best equipment. We are located in 2 cities, Boya at Mile 18 Bolifamba, and in Douala, we are located at Entre Pilot. You can reach us through the telephone number 694-940-172. Your health is at the right place with Dr. Suleiman.
Good morning, everybody out there. This is Dr. Solomon with a new session, Your Health Today, My Media Prime Live. We're gonna be talking about gallbladder and gallbladder disease, how you recognize you have a gallbladder disease, signs and symptoms, your advice, the advice that you should be following, and how you recognize that you have the disease. But before we start that, let me share with you a video of hepatitis B complication. I want you to pay close attention, even though hepatitis B is a silent disease, but when the complications start. Let's watch this video together.
You see, you can see the screen. This is all fluids there. And now, if we now look at the liver, this is the liver. You see how small the liver? Yeah, let me put the pointer here. Yeah. This is the liver here. This is the liver here. Small and cirrhotic. This is a cirrhotic liver here, secondary to hepatitis B. Now, the patient will not be able to produce anything from the liver. The coagulation factors are all made in the liver, cannot be made anymore. Albumin is made in the liver, cannot be made anymore. You know, so there is a problem. There is a problem here. And you can see how much fluids are there. You see how I don't even, you know, this all black, all this black here, this is all fluids inside. And look how bad is the liver. The liver is already not even quarter of the normal size anymore. This is hepatitis B complication. That's why everybody should be screened for hepatitis B. Thank you.
Okay, what you have seen was hepatitis B complication. Hepatitis B complication, this is a male that is 45 years old, young, 45 years old. And you see his stomach is much bigger than a 9-month pregnant woman. Beside the difficulty in breathing, the fatigue, you know, the patient cannot function. He cannot stand for long. He cannot sit for long. He's irritant. He is agitated all the times because of that condition. Back pain, difficulty breathing. All this, can you imagine all this big belly full of fluids? It is not easy to take. This is not the only complication that this patient suffers from. We have gotten to that stage simply because he had failed to screen for hepatitis B. So you can see the price you pay if you have hepatitis and you ignore. So most likely, this patient did not know he had hepatitis till the stomach starts to grow. And you've seen in the video how big is the stomach. We spoke before about hepatitis B and the complication of hepatitis B. This was just a small reminder for everybody out there that hepatitis B is on the rise. Hepatitis B is on the rise. I seen few cases, hepatitis, especially young couples. Hepatitis B, how you get hepatitis B is sex, meaning the female must be infected or the male must be infected. And to go a bit more in details, when would I know that I am infected or when the virus could be transmitted male to female or female to male is when the virus has the envelope. And we have discussed previously that if the virus has an envelope, we can test the E for envelope, in the lab with ELISA to show you that you are E antigen positive. In that case, and only that case, you are actively transmitting the virus. Which means we have couples, a husband and wife, they having frequent sex, yet the husband will be positive, the wife will be negative, or vice versa. So one of the partners is positive and the other one is negative. So if you just said it's sexually transmitted disease, how come they've been married for the last 10 years and one of them have the hepatitis, the other one doesn't have the hepatitis? For the simple fact that I have just mentioned, the virus to be transmitted has to be a complete virus. We cannot take a piece of the virus and then we talk about it could be transmitted. A virus to multiply has to be a complete virus. A complete virus has to have an envelope, a DNA material inside, covered by an envelope. And once we have this, then the envelope as an E antigen will be positive in serology test, in ELISA test. ELISA is the only means whereby we can find E antigen. So only if you have the envelope, you can actively transmit the virus from one to another through sex. What if I don't have the envelope? I only have the S for surface antigen only, meaning part of that outmost part of that membrane or the envelope. The envelope has spikes on it, Those we call surface antigen. What if I only have the surface antigen? Definitely, if you have the surface antigen, you definitely hepatitis positive. You have hepatitis. Now, at some stage, you may have the E antigen positive or you may not have the E antigen. If you do not have the E antigen and you have frequent sex, you will not transmit the virus. You have the virus, you cannot transmit the virus because you're lacking the E antigen. So that's how we explain that one partner will have it, another partner will not have it. That is by the same meaning if a pregnant woman has hepatitis B and the virus is already enveloped and transmitted through the placenta, the baby will have it. But if the mother is E antigen negative, she cannot transmit the virus. Meaning what? Yet the baby has to be vaccinated, absolutely. So how come this 45 years old man got hepatitis? Most likely, when he started to become sexually active, maybe 18, maybe 17 years old, this is when he got it. So it takes about 15 to 20 years, okay? 10 to 20 years for that liver to be like this, cirrhotic like this. It's small and is like a piece of stone. Even if you kill an animal, and sometimes you find the liver very small and very fibrotic, and that is what we call liver cirrhosis. Going back to the image of that patient with that big belly, what happened that his stomach gets so big? This is a condition we call ascites. Look how big the stomach. The stomach is huge. And when I put the scan, is only fluids there. Those dark spaces around that white shining stuff, this is all fluid. This is all ascites. This is fluids. How did the stomach get so big like that? We said one of the functions of the liver is to make a protein called albumin. Albumin is essential to keep the blood, the plasma. You see, the blood is red blood cells and some water we call plasma. For that plasma, for that water to keep inside the blood, so the blood doesn't be only red blood cells, we need this protein that is made by the liver, this albumin that is made by the liver. If the liver fails, when the liver becomes cirrhotic, obviously it cannot manufacture, because the liver cells are becoming like small multi-scars here and there. How did the liver cell become a scar? When the virus gets inside the cell, the hepatic cell, the liver cell, then the virus knows only one thing in life, which is multiply. So it controls the cell mechanism, the cell genetic material. It takes control of that genetic material and it turns it into their own benefits. Then it's like a factory inside now. One virus enters and it becomes thousands of viruses. Now the cell is full of thousands of viruses. So what happened? When the cell cannot accommodate all those viruses anymore, boom, it ruptures. Once it ruptures, it's not a valid cell anymore. It just becomes a scar. Assuming now this process happening to all the liver cells, so all the liver cells now become scar, and we call that cirrhosis or fibrosis. The liver becomes so hard, so stiff, non-functional. We have a good thing about the liver. The liver is one of the organs in the body that have very high regenerative capacity. It regenerates so fast, meaning if I transplant in you a quarter of the liver, with time it becomes a full liver. So that's what we call regeneration. Regeneration means the liver have the capacity to renew its cells all the times. So now we have a competition, let's say. The virus, the hepatitis B virus, killing your liver cells, and at the same time, we have the liver cells' regenerative capacity, replenishing and renewing that liver cells that has been damaged. It depends now how fast can the virus, what we call the viral load, how much is the viral load versus the regenerative capacity of the liver. Whoever wins, we have a different outcome. If the viral load wins, then we have a cirrhosis liver with time. If the regenerative capacity wins, the patient is recovered. So not everybody with hepatitis B will progress to cirrhosis. Some can recover on their own without interfering, without getting any medication. But the question would be, should I wait and see? Absolutely not, because you do not know which category you belong to. Whether you belong to the category that will progress to cirrhosis, or the category, and you become like this man we have shown the video for, or you're going to become one of those lucky ones that can recover hepatitis B without even medication. You do not know which one you belong to. So what is the advice? First of all, screen. Do hepatitis B screening. For the sake of covering as many people as we possibly can, we have reduced the ELISA hepatitis B in my site, in my clinic, to 5,000. It doesn't hurt and it doesn't cost much to get screened for hepatitis B.